Imagine buying a house for $1.3 million. It is the biggest investment of your life. You have worked for 20 years to get here. You picture your children playing in the yard. You picture Christmas dinners in the dining room. You picture growing old here. You sign the papers. You get the keys. You feel safe. 3 days later, you go to check the mail. There is a white, card-sized envelope. It has no return address. In thick, clunky handwriting, it is addressed to the new owner. You open it, expecting a welcome card from a neighbor. Maybe an invitation to a block party. Instead, you read this. Dearest new neighbor at 657 Boulevard, allow me to welcome you to the neighborhood. 657 Boulevard has been the subject of my family for decades past, and as it approaches its 110th birthday, I have been put in charge of watching and waiting for its second coming. My grandfather watched the house in the 1920s, and my father watched in the 1960s. It is now my time. Do you know the history of the house? Do you know what lies within the walls of 657 Boulevard? Why are you here? I will find out. You stop reading. You look around the street. It is a sunny afternoon in Westfield, New Jersey. The birds are singing. The neighbors are mowing their lawns. Everything looks perfect, but someone is watching you. This is the true story of Derek and Maria Broaddus, and this was just the beginning. Welcome to the nightmare of the watcher. Westfield, New Jersey, is not a place where bad things happen. It is ranked as one of the safest towns in America. It is a town of doctors, lawyers, and CEOs. The houses are old and beautiful. The lawns are manicured. People leave their doors unlocked. Derek and Maria Broaddus thought they had made it. They bought the 6-bedroom home at 657 Boulevard in June 2014. They had 3 young children. They were excited to renovate. But that first letter changed everything. The writer, who signed off as the watcher, knew things he shouldn't know. He knew they had contractors in the house. He knew they were renovating. He wrote, "I see you have flooded the house with contractors so that you can destroy the house as it was supposed to be. Bad move. You do not want to make 657 Boulevard unhappy." This person wasn't just watching. He was obsessed with the house itself. He spoke about the house as if it were alive, as if it were a person with feelings. And then the letter turned from creepy to terrifying. The watcher mentioned the children. He wrote, "You have children. I have seen them. So far, I think there are 3 that I have counted." Then came the question that would haunt every parent's nightmares. "Do you need to fill the house with the young blood?" I requested. "Better for me, was your old house too small for the growing family? Or was it greed to bring me your children? Once I know their names, I will call to them and draw them to me." Imagine reading that. Young blood. Draw them to me. Derek ran inside. He turned off all the lights. He called the police. The police were confused. There was no physical threat, just a letter. They told Derek to take down the for sale sign in the yard, in case it was attracting attention. But the damage was done. The feeling of safety was gone. The police started an investigation. They looked at the neighbors, and one family stood out: the Langfords. The Langford family lived right next door. Their porch had a perfect view of the Broaddus house. The family was described as a bit eccentric. One of the sons, Michael Langford, was known for walking through the neighborhood and looking at houses. It seemed like the perfect answer. This strange neighbor next door. But it wasn't that simple. 2 weeks later, a second letter arrived. This time, the watcher was angry. He knew the family's names. He knew the children's names. He even knew their nicknames. He wrote, "Welcome again to your new home at 657 Boulevard. The workers have been busy, and I have been watching you unload carfuls of your personal belongings. The dumpster is a nice touch. Have they found what is in the walls yet? In time, they will dot." Then he threatened the children directly. He wrote, "I'm pleased to know your names now, and the name of the young blood you have brought to me. Will the young blood play in the basement, or are they too afraid to go down there alone? I would be very afraid if I were them. It is far away from the rest of the house. If you were upstairs, you would never hear them scream." Derek and Maria stopped bringing the children to the house. They stopped the renovations. They were paying a mortgage on a mansion, but they were living with Maria's parents. They were paralyzed by fear. They hired private investigators. They hired former FBI agents. They installed cameras everywhere. Derek Broaddus began to lose his mind. He spent nights crouching in the dark, watching the neighbors through binoculars. He was becoming a watcher himself. The investigators found some strange things. They found that 2 other neighbors were also receiving odd letters, but they had thrown them away. They found DNA on the envelope of one of the watcher's letters. It was female DNA, but it didn't match anyone in the neighborhood. The mystery deepened. Was it the Langfords? Was it a female neighbor? Was it a prank? 6 months passed. The Broaddus family couldn't take it anymore. They decided to sell the house. They listed it for more than they bought it for, trying to cover the renovation costs. But rumors spread in a small town like Westfield. Secrets don't stay secret. Everyone knew about the watcher. Nobody wanted to buy the cursed house. Then came the 3rd letter. This one was frantic. It was unhinged. The watcher wrote, "Where have you gone to? 657 Boulevard is missing you." He mocked them for trying to sell. He wrote, "Violent winds and bitter cold." To the vile and spiteful Derek and his wench, of a wife. You wonder who the watcher is. Turn around. Maybe you even spoke to me, one of the so-called neighbors, who has no idea who the watcher could be. Or maybe you do know and are too scared to tell anyone. Good move. The family was broken. They filed a lawsuit against the previous owners, claiming they knew about the watcher and didn't tell them. The lawsuit revealed that the previous owners had received one letter days before moving out. But they thought it was a prank and threw it away. Years went by. The house sat empty. A multi-million-dollar ghost town in the middle of a perfect neighborhood. Derek and Maria tried to rent it out, but even then, the watcher didn't stop. A new letter arrived, threatening the renter. Finally, in 2019, 5 years after buying the house, Derek and Maria sold it. They bought it for $1.3 million. They sold it for $900,000. They lost $400,000, not counting the renovations, the lawyers, and the investigators. But they escaped with their lives. To this day, the identity of the watcher remains unknown. The prosecutor's office investigated the Langford family again, but found insufficient evidence. The DNA didn't match. The handwriting didn't match. Some people believe it was a neighbor who was jealous of the rich newcomers. Some believe it was an old person suffering from dementia who really believed they were the guardian of the house. And some people, the skeptics, believe that Derek and Maria wrote the letters themselves. They say the family had buyer's remorse. They say they realized they couldn't afford the house and cooked up a scheme to get out of the sale or make money from a movie deal. But if it was a hoax, why did they lose $500,000? Why did they terrify their own children? Why did Derek spend nights shaking with fear in the dark? The new owners of 657 Boulevards say they have been there for years and have never received a letter. Maybe the watcher died. Maybe he moved away. Or maybe he is still there, watching, waiting for the right time, waiting for the young blood to return. Because, as the letter said, you can never leave 657 Boulevard. Once you enter, the house claims you. So, the next time you look at a beautiful old house and think, I wish I lived there, just remember, you never know who is watching from the other side of the fence. You never know what history is hiding in the walls. And if you ever receive a white envelope with no return address, don't open it. Thanks for watching. What do you think? Was it a neighbor? Or was it a hoax? Let me know in the comments below. Stay safe.